Let's take you to Yobe State now, where 9 local governments cannot access the state capital due to the heavy rainfall which cut off a bridge in Bursari local government area. And this comes 3 days after the Potiskum-Gashua road was cut off due to the flood. Before now, the collapsed bridge was the alternative route that links 6 local government areas to Damaturu. Residents of these areas can only use canoe to access the state capital or travel through Hadija in Jigawa State, which is more than 500 kilometers away. And for more on this, I'm being joined on the news at 10 tonight. The Yobe State Emergency Management Agency's Executive Secretary, Mohammed Goje. Good to have you on the news at this time. So let's understand first, give us insights on the relief efforts now being provided to the communities that have been cut off after this flood disaster.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. To start with, flood disaster sometimes are predicted because NIMET and other relevant agencies do release their information ahead of time. And at the beginning of the season, when we briefed His Excellency Governor Memala Buni, he directed us to prepare ourselves and ensure that in the eventuality of any emergencies, we have alternative means to access or to support the communities. And unfortunately, this time around, the disaster has tested our strength, but we have not given up because it's our people and it's our responsibility, and it's a task that we must deliver. So it has affected almost 16 LGAs, 352 communities, about over 18,000 households were affected, so almost 1,000 are currently displaced in some camps. So what we do in terms of ensuring relief materials has reached the victims and survivors is, one, to prioritize what type of relief they really want. We start with medical consumables. Those that need medical emergencies, about over 442 were attended to in different hospitals, and they were discharged. Unfortunately, we lost some lives due to drowning or collapse of building. But of course, we prioritize medical consumables. After medical consumables, we prioritize those that are in the temporary shelter in camps. Why we prioritize them is to also cut the chances or the risks of communicable disease being transmitted in a place where a high population of people coming from different places are being assembled. So we make sure that they have enough mosquito nets, we make sure that their wash facility is well attended to. Then we make sure that they have enough food items as much as it will sustain them before either the LGA or any community will come to their rescue. But of course, the numbers are high, and as directed by Governor Buni, no person that needs emergency attention should be ignored. And we are collaborating with our partners across board to ensure that we have delivered all those life-saving support across those camps. Then after the camp, we initiate our profiling at the community level. Of course, most of them, those that are not in camp, they are being hosted in host communities. But looking at the economic situation across the country and some of the challenges of farmers who have already planted what they have at home and there's nothing to feed themselves and it's not yet time for harvest, we are aware of the increasing demand among even those that are very stable than those that are displaced and coming to stay with them in the host community.
Right.
So we profile them and we reach out to them with basic food services.
Right.
But at the moment... Yeah.
And for those who you say you've confined or you've provided these relief materials, how long can they stay in these areas? And what is the provision for those who have been affected grossly by this disaster? What is the alternative plan for them?
At the moment, we are waiting, we have a long-term plan when the water subsides, so that we'll look at how we can support their shelter, we'll integrate them back to their homes. But for now, what we do is, for some communities, we have designed a template. His Excellency, the Governor, has approved an amount that for each person that is in the camp, will give them a certain amount that will enable them at least rent a temporary shelter for 2-3 months before we decide how we can integrate them back to their homes. And for those that have been integrated in the host community, to continue giving them the basic life-saving support, either food, medical consumables, or NFIs, either directly by government, through partners, or through some of our stakeholders, so that it will stabilize them before we reintegrate them back to their community. But the main thing is, for every victim that is displaced, because of the number of displacement or because of the number of victims across board, what we do is we have a multisectoral approach to the response. If a partner A is bringing so response, we designate the response to a particular community that are in need. If it is cash, we know where it's prioritized. If it's medical, we prioritize it. But all in all, we are trying as much as we could to ensure that we reach as much as possible.
Right.
An example is...
All right, that's where we have to leave it for now because of time. Thank you so much, Mr. Mohammed Goje, Executive Secretary, Yobe State Emergency Management Agency. We appreciate your insights on the news at 10 tonight.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's take you to Delta State now, where the government has embarked on a comprehensive exercise to clear drains and water channels in Asaba due to the rising sea level of the River Niger. Commissioner for Environment, Jamani Ejiro, who monitored the operation, warned residents to refrain from indiscriminate disposal of waste. Ikenna Amici reports.
This state government proactive effort is meant to minimize the impact of flooding after the predictions by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET. The clearing of Awan River, a crucial discharge point for the storm drainage system in Asaba, is a significant step in preventing flooding.
The proactive governor of Delta State, His Excellency, set up a flood disaster management committee, which happens to be a member, to see how we can come up with ideas to mitigate the flooding. And that's one of our resolution is to clear the drains and water channels. If you go to Awan River now, Swambugi is there working, Iyabi and Camp 74. We are clearing it from stretch to the River Niger. Then what we are doing also, we are clearing drains so that we are distancing the drains so that there will be easy flow of water.
At the Mariam Babangida Road, the drains are cleared and refuse evacuated by these trucks. The same exercise is carried out on Jesus Saves Road. This bar is sealed for channeling its sewage into the drains.
I came here this morning and I find that these people connected two major pipes. One from their toilet and the bathroom, the other one from the kitchen. 6 inches pipe. And you know, His Excellency the Governor, Right Honorable Sheriff Francis Obero, has promised Deltans that he will sustain the environment. Once you commit any environmental nuisance, you will face the full wrath of the law.
This ongoing exercise, replicated across the state, demonstrates the government's commitment to safeguarding lives and property. Ikenna Amici, TVC News, Asaba.
And now to Bayelsa, where 9 years after the killing of a 17-year-old innocent Kokorifa by a police officer in 2016, the Federal High Court in Yenagoa has awarded compensation worth 500 million naira to Daniel Kokorifa over the incident. In this report, TVC News' Joseph Kunde visits the Kokorifa family after the death of their promising young child.
Global Rights reports that Nigeria has recorded over 800 incidents of extrajudicial killings across the country in the last 3 years. But before these incidents were the sad case of late 17-year-old Innocent Kokorifa, the first out of 5 children of Mr. Daniel Kokorifa, a civil servant. He was shot dead along Air Force Road in Yenagoa on the 18th of August 2016 by one Corporal Vincent Koloamowe, a now convicted and dismissed police officer who was also sentenced to death by a court in 2018. 7 years after, some succor seems in sight for the Kokorifa family as the Federal High Court sitting in Yenagoa awards over 500 million naira to Daniel Kokorifa in the civil rights suit. He also seeks a public apology from the Nigerian police.
Certain monetary compensation was awarded in favor of the applicant, who is the father of the deceased. There was also the order of the court that the police should immediately issue an apology on 2 national dailies with regards to the incident that occurred, the extrajudicial killing of Master Innocent Kokorifa on the 18th day of August 2016. Although no amount of monetary compensation can pay for the life that is lost, but at least the compensation would at least assuage some of the expenses that the family has suffered over the years.
Well, let's take you to Kogi State, where the governor, Usman Ododo, has flagged off the distribution of more than 20 trucks of fertilizers to farmers in the 21 local government areas. Governor Ododo restated his commitment to developing the agricultural sector in the state, and the governor warned against diversion, inequitable distribution, and exclusion of genuine farmers.
Agriculture is the backbone of our economy, and this program demonstrates our commitment to supporting our farmers and ensuring food security. With this program, we aim to increase farmers' access to affordable fertilizers, boost agricultural productivity, enhance farmers' income.
As a state, we have invested heavily in agriculture. We wouldn't have done so if we do not have faith that we are on the path of making Kogi the food hub of our nation. With our rich and expansive land, our favorable climatic conditions, our water bodies, and our resolute political will to drive agriculture, we have no excuse not to produce enough food for Kogi and other states.